Okay, so I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, where we're catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own. We just keep working at being the artists we've always wanted to be. Um, Once again, I kind of skipped out and got very, very quiet. I've actually been filled with like an overwhelming amount of anxiety and sadness and to tell you the truth, not even fear, it's been terror because nothing has been moving for months. It's been pretty rough, pretty scary, pretty scary. But a few things have happened that prompted me to come and make another video. I was the artist for a restaurant called Arts and Central here in Sarasota for a month. I was a featured artist, which means that they had my artwork printed on the back of their 11, I forgot, there were some size, they're big size menus. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people saw them and took them home. And some of the people were in town, and I heard from a lot of people who were in town who had collected them. Because you were allowed to take them home from the restaurant. You were invited to as a guest. So people were taking home 1, 2, 5, 10 of them at a time. And then apparently the restaurant heard from visitors who had eaten at the restaurant and grabbed a couple of menus. They heard from people across the country. It was like, hey, I would really like more of these. Can you send me a few more images? So that was a huge success. Unfortunately, no sales resulted from it, but people got to know my name and got to see the artwork, which is the single most important thing, is that the artwork is seen. We did do one night there. The restaurant invited me and a couple of friends. I was asked to bring a couple of friends so that they could treat us to dinner. So we had a dinner there. We were there for about 2.5 hours. And over that 2.5 hours, the staff was really nice to me. Our waiter was really terrific, Louis. And he waited until I was done before coming to me and saying, we have people that want to meet you. Would you mind coming? But in the meantime, and this is really why I was there, was to meet their customers, meet people who might be interested. And so for 2.5 hours, while Louis was kind enough to try and keep people at bay, I was signing autographs and having my picture taken with people. And they were asking about the artwork and about me, which is really nice. It was really terrific. But it was 2.5 hours of signing autographs, like I'm a celebrity. It was very cool. And pretty much where my rule has been and kind of still continues to be, say yes to anything. So when I was first asked to participate, to be an artist of the month, be the featured artist of the month, my initial response though was, no, I don't want to have my artwork on a menu. But these were decent sized prints that people could take home and did take home. So it worked out extremely well in my view. Now that was one thing that happened. The second thing that happened is I was asked if I would please formally be the artist for a local theater group in town called Urbanite Theater. It's a tiny theater. It's a little black box theater. They're doing fresh work. They do performances of absolutely fresh work by people across the country and around the world. So it's kind of like an artist residency in a way, but this little theater has a terrific following, terrific supporters. We've worked together before. I've had two little shows there, and it's been really nice. And so they asked me if I would be their artist for the upcoming season, which is going to be all winter. And I said yes to that because we work together well, and they're nice. The people I work with have to hold a certain value system. They have to be inclusive. They have to be kind and patient. They can't express arrogance and selfishness. I don't want that in my circle at all. So I'm involved. I did the restaurant arts in Central. I'm doing Urbanite Theater. I'm also the artist, still the official artist for Sea Alliance, the social justice group. And then there's one other group that I have to get back to today who's asked me to work with them. I was supposed to be working with anyway, so we're going to start working together. But the third thing that's happened, and I'm hoping this prompts me to make more videos, because we have a teaching tool coming up. I've got to get it together on this one, but as a teaching tool and doing videos, I finally got a mural secured downtown here in Sarasota. The mural is of the Highwaymen, the Florida Highwaymen, the group of 26 Black and brown African American artists who were painting and selling here in Florida in the 1950s. They were taking their artwork out on the road, selling their paintings door to door, but mainly on the side of the highways. That's what they're known for. The side of the highways in 1950s Jim Crow Florida. I'm enamored with these people. I have so much respect for them, for this group. There's only 7 surviving members, but I have so much respect for what they did. The courage and the drive and the tenacity is unbelievable. It's inconceivable that they risked their lives to be artists. To be artists and teach other people around them to be artists and painters. And they helped not only themselves, the 26, but their families, their friends, their communities survive and be self-sustaining through the artwork. So I say this and I get goosebumps. I am very pleased, and I'm very proud to be the artist who will be doing a visual representation of them on the Whole Foods building by City Hall here in Sarasota. And I'm not sure when the project is starting. Next week we sign a contract, and then I just going out and renting like the equipment that we need and getting the paint. I'm gonna get everything in place as quickly as possible. So in the meantime, the commission meeting for the mural and other public art murals was last Wednesday. And it took me about 24 hours to go, oh, it's really happening. Because as we know, I'm used to having the rug pulled out from underneath me and having things fall apart when we've worked really hard for them. So I kind of sat on it for 24 hours like, I don't know, maybe it'll happen. It's really happening. It's really, really happening. So I've been taking that time, especially as, I started to go, oh my God, this is a thing. Organizing so that once we sign the contract, within 24 hours I can hit the ground running. It's inconceivable to me that we're actually here. Now with the Highwaymen, because it was Black and brown artists, these 26 artists, one of them being Marianne Carroll, the only woman in the group, I want to respect their legacy and who they were as a group. So what I've been doing is inviting Black and brown African American artists who I know and like and share the same value system and have been trying really hard on their own. Especially hardworking people have been trying hard on their own. I've been inviting them to participate in the mural, not for days on end. I can't do that. No one wants to be around me for days on end. I get too grumpy and I let all my thoughts fly, and that's not good for anybody. But I have so far I have 5 artists. I have 10 total on my own list that I want to invite. But also other artists are going, hey, I know a couple of other people. And I say, well, can you give me their names so I can look them up and check them out? The hard part is telling people, I can't have you paint the way you paint. You have to paint the way I paint. So let's figure this out. The city and Whole Foods wanted me to do this because I, as we know, a very particular style and a very intent-filled way of painting. So now it's training people, training other artists, other painters, or trying to explain how to handle the materials in a non-condescending way. Good God, I hope I find my words when I need to. But explaining to them how to handle the materials so we get the effect that I presented to Whole Foods and the city presented to Whole Foods. We've been given a lot of leeway, or I've been given a lot of leeway on this because the public art director already knows the way I paint. I was chosen because of the way I paint, because it literally is not like anybody else. My ideas, my techniques, my brushstrokes aren't like anybody else. So we need to make sure that we stay in that vein instead of just, it's not just about applying paint and making the perfect smooth surface like so many millions of other mural artists or painters. It is continuing our conversation with the viewer about paint and the effects that light can have on paint and how different types of paint, different mediums will react to light, as well as how to construct a figure, how to construct like a palm tree, which I've included palms in this, and a number of other elements, landscaping elements, or landscape elements, sticking with the highwaymen, the Florida highwaymen, and what they did. So it is about me. It's not about me. It is following the reasoning behind hiring me, but two, respecting other artists and opening opportunities for them, having a way to introduce these people to the Public Art Commission, to the city, opening the door to having murals from different perspectives and with different ideas on what's been going on. So I'm excited. I am very nervous. Because this is such a large project, and I primarily, most of us, work on my own. So I'm pretty nervous about it. And with that in mind, because of the nervousness, because of the responsibility involved in this is the mural itself isn't massive. It's 3 13 by 13 foot squares, which are, the size is going to be extended just a little bit for frame when we paint frames around it. But it's not the size that is daunting me so much, although that's a tiny part of it. It is the minutia and having to juggle so many people. I know I can't do it on my own. I can't. So that's not realistic. I could. I mean, in all reality, I could. But here is an opportunity to open the door to other people. So a long time ago, or about a month ago, I think, I asked 2 friends to join me. My friend Greg Cruz, who runs Streets of Paradise, a homeless an organization that helps the homeless here in Sarasota. We've done shows together. We did Shade. We've done shows together. And we've been planning on painting together for a long time. And he actually expressed to me that he wanted to learn how I paint and why I do what I do. And so he's now on the core team. Greg agreed to work with me on this. I'm so grateful to have him because we trust each other. We trust each other and we understand when each other has had enough and we need quiet time, but also I respect his time as a multifaceted human being. So we understand each other, and that's a comfort to have him on my team. I also have and I don't know what else to call it besides a core team. But I have artist named Jade Griffin on the core team as well. So these 2 will be my partners, essentially, in the project. I'm the head of it. They'll be kind of the support team, but we'll all be working together, very closely together. Jade is a young artist out of Fort Myers. I don't like mentoring people per se. I don't like teaching. I don't like any of it. I don't mind mentoring from afar, but we've been up close, and I like her. I like Jade. Jade is extremely hardworking. Once again, shares the same value system, so there's no chance for awkwardness or uncomfortableness. She is kind and open. She is inclusive. She represents every organization that wants to work with me and that I work with. So it's just such a gift to have Jade and Greg in my life. So I've invited Jade. As I said, she's young. She hasn't done a mural before. So this is a chance to open an opportunity to do something she may not have done on her own for years, if ever. When I first met Jade, and she's so hardworking. She's always working. She's always promoting. She's on the news. She's in the papers. She's making a name for herself. And I really respect that while she's making a name for herself, she's not running on ego and arrogance. She's not at all. She's wonderful. So there's a comfort in our relationship as well. And I forgot what I was going to say next. Oh, when I first met Jade, it was at a show last February, so February of 2023. We were slated to do an artist talk, which is something I hadn't done in a long time. I also hadn't done a show in a long time. I'm going to give myself a facelift. A manual facelift. I'll just walk around like this. No, I hadn't done a show or an artist talk in a long, long time. And I ended up on a stage with several other artists. And I was so freaked out and nervous because I actually hadn't been talking to people in quite a while. Here I am. I'm all dressed up. We're on stage. And my tinnitus exploded. My ears hurt really bad. My ear canals hurt really bad. I couldn't hear anyone. It was hard for me to concentrate. I'm trying to understand what the other speakers were saying, and also trying to hear the interviewer, the woman moderating the group. It was god awful. Apparently I did fine, but I shook like a chihuahua. I know I was shaking like a chihuahua the whole time. Everybody said, "Oh, you were so calm," and I was, nope, not having it. I'm not shy, but when you don't talk to people for ages and ages, it can have a physical, mental, emotional effect, but also a physical effect as well, which I've experienced a lot, especially lately. But I was looking at Jade's, I was walking around and talking to the other artists who apparently knew me, I don't know, and I walked up to Jade's, and I respect that she had work there. I respect that she took the stage. And I also respect that she's an artist who is trying, who really knows where she wants to go, what she wants to do, and she's trying. So I walked up to Jade, and I'm looking at her artwork, I'm looking at their artwork, and I don't feel it is ever my place to critique an artist. Even when they ask, it's uncomfortable, and it's wrong. However, I pointed to one of Jade's paintings, and apparently this is the first thing I said to her was, "You need to paint bigger." She tells that story all the time, that's the first thing I said to her, "You need to paint bigger." And so she did. Actually, she started buying larger and larger canvases, and she's gotten better and better. The larger the canvas, the better she is. So that was pretty cool, and it was nice that she wasn't defensive or dismissive. She took it to heart, and we've done several shows together since. So it's Greg, Jade, and me. We're the core team. Today I met with a graphic designer who is applying graphs to all the different reference material and sketches and images I have that we'll be using on site. Those will be printed up in a small booklet for all the artists who are participating, and I can hand it to them and say, this is what we're working on today. The three 13 by 13 foot panels will be gridded out by Jade, Greg, and I. So all anybody has to do is basically, once they get there, hopefully, is paint. They'll be freed up to paint. So Kayla's taking care of the graphic design on that. I also am really fortunate to have met an artist named Annie Dong. And Annie is a first generation American from China. And she is delightful, and I love her, and I call her my twin, even though she's 40 years younger than me, and we don't look anything alike. We call each other our twin. I am the twinister, though, because I'm the slightly sinister twin. I'm the bitter, sinister twin. So I'm the twinister. Annie, I was talking with her yesterday, and again this morning. I've been shooting her other mural projects that are opening up. But this morning I was talking with her, yesterday and today, would you mind doing this? Would you mind helping with that? And then I realized today I need to just hire her as a project consultant. I think it's a brilliant idea if you're going to step into a project like this, especially with so much responsibility. This isn't a pretty picture of a butterfly. This comes with a lot of weight. I think if you're going to get involved with something like this, that you have a project consultant. Someone you can lean on, someone who can see everything with fresh eyes and from an outside view. So we've got the core team, the graphic designer, Kayla, Annie, the project consultant, and then I was approached sometime over the weekend by a gentleman named Chris, who wanted to have coffee with me. And over the next 3 hours, I thought we were going to be there for a half hour. We were there for almost 3.5 hours. Our coffee talk evolved into exactly what it should have been, which is him introducing the idea very lightly and me asking him if he would work with me as a rep, as an assistant, kind of managerial role. And so that's happening. He has, our first task is, or our first venture is getting, and again, he falls within the same value system of inclusion and not exclusionary, and being kind and patient and not coming at things with arrogance. He has a strength about him, but I look forward to working with him. Our first venture is getting an artist talk at a venue in town that is actually pretty big and hard to get into, but he has all the right contacts, and that's not why I asked him, because he's got all the right contacts and he could be awesome for me. But he does. He has all the contacts I need, all the contacts we need to be successful. So one thing we talked about was getting me not from, here in this little pond, not just keeping me popular here or well-known here, but how to get me popular in the outside world, get the artwork known. So, we've had a number of things fall into place, and I think we have all the right people coming in together at all the right time. And I look forward to sharing the project as it evolves, but also any information that I have about developing a project like this. I hope understanding or me explaining the team that's going into place is helpful. If you're someone that's never done a mural before, or has done a few but doesn't quite have their footing, hopefully understanding the team that I'm putting together so that I feel comfortable helps you. So that's it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company. And I have talked for almost another 30 minutes again. That's what happens when we don't see each other for a while. Yeah, a lot. I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company. And if you'd like to help support Catalyst and Company, or you're interested in original work, I've posted some on my website, but I'm doing a lot more on Facebook. Some on Instagram, a lot more on Facebook. I like the community feel there better. So, but if you're interested in original artwork, you can contact the links down below, the people down below, or DM me, and we can start talking. All right, ready? Carrie, I hope you're well. Eric, I hope you're well. Val, the other Carrie Kais, the umpteen people that I hear from all the time and are now escaping me, my friends. I hope everyone is well, and let's move forward, shall we? All right. Ciao. Meow, meow, meow. Boink.